faces get distorted with all of the cinematics because this was,
Corey, did we cut out?
Corey cut us out.
No,
Doesn't like us, huh?
I don't know what's going on. No, we're back. I think it was just lag.
Okay.
No.
I didn't do anything.
Lag.
Corey says it's not his fault.
It's totally Corey's fault. It's all blame Corey. Okay, so anyways, they're living. They're doing great. Haven, Oklahoma. Then you come in here, and I want to tell a story about focus testing. Focus testing is a thing that happens where we invite people in to play the game, and
it's not really focus testing, it's like play testing.
Oh, it's play testing. Yeah, play testing.
Yeah.
So it's a group of people, they play the game, they tell us what they want. Occasionally, because there's a small amount of pay involved, like barely covers gas, you'll get people who lie to be there. So like, for example, we wanted people who were first-person shooter players. And there was this woman who was in there who did not know how the right-hand stick worked. So she played the entire game like this. Just straight down. And she got up here and was pointing.
She made it all the way here from...
Yeah. She
Wow.
made it all the way there, which is pretty impressive. Let's look at the poop bucket just for a second. This is Elliot Mallon's special. We had a character artist named Elliot.
I don't think I ever saw that before.
That's
and they even got the...
That's Eric Meyer on the cover.
Oh, it is Eric Meyer
is.
on the cover. Oh, he's the cover boy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thanks, Maru Station, Vest DD, thanks for following. Everyone who follows, we're donating a Brave gown on your behalf to Starlight Children's Foundation. It's this cool thing kids wear. We did a design competition here inside Insomniac, and we made these Brave gowns for kids to wear while they're getting tested and, like MRIs, that sort of stuff. So if you want more on Brave gowns, check out insomniac.games. Our most recent blog has a whole thing about it. And if you follow us today, we'll donate a Brave gown to Starlight. So if you haven't clicked the follow button on our Twitch stream, make sure you check that out.
All right, before you say that, this is the one thing I wanted to point out was when you shoot, when you point your cursor up here, that's when we're testing the Y invert. So we do it automatically. We didn't have to.
Oh, yes, you just did it. But boys, Luitron Lord and Swindlefed, thanks for the follows, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks,
you guys, you make the internet work.
Yeah, you did it.
You did it.
I remember that this part was something that we went over many, many times because we kept finding that how much players wound up liking the game was basically directly proportional to how well they understood that they had alt fires.
Yes.
Yep.
That was a classic problem with the Resistance series was we had our alt fires. So this one in particular, the bullseye, you fire a tag, and then you can shoot it. It follows the tag, which makes balancing a multiplayer game almost impossible.
Very. Tag, you're it. Keith E. and Crocodile, thanks so much for the follow. And as guys, always feel free to ask questions in the chat. We are monitoring the chat for your questions, so we'll try to get to them in between stories and reminiscing. As Marcus just goes to town on a bunch of dolls. I will say, so we were testing earlier. I was playing, and I had to remember. I was switching. I'm oh, I only have these two guns. I was I only have so much pistol ammo when I picked up where I left off. Yeah. And thanks for the follow. I teach ICT. And then I was oh yeah, I have the weapon wheel. I have 8 guns right now. Never mind. It's nothing to worry about. But there was that brief moment of wait, what am I doing? I'm so even today I'm still too trained by 2 weapon systems. Apparently we don't have.
Thanks, PlayStation.
We don't have the patch in there.
All right, Adam's taking over. Look, you're being attacked.
Oh no, they're here.
You're in trouble. Oh, do you invert?
No, I did
Thank
not.
God,
inverted.
I actually did at the start of this project, and
this project fixed you?
And trained myself to not.
You know what? Ted did too when we first started Resistance.
No, really? I was a long time inverted player for first-person shooters, and I fixed it. I think GoldenEye in those games, you were definitely inverted on the when you press the camera button, it kind of made sense, but over time.
Well, I think it comes back to Mario 64 where they introduce it as the little Lakitu holding a camera, and they're press down to make him down.
Yeah.
James, you started Resistance 1, right?
Correct. I always came in during Resistance 1.
I remember when you first started, we were playing in QA. We were doing multiplayer play testing. And I didn't know James. He's this new guy. I know nothing about him, but he talked so much shit during multiplayer. I was what is this guy's problem? We're all trying to play test this game, and he's just yeah, in your face. Take that, Ted Price. So I was well, he's going to be fired right now.
Oh, 11 years later.
All right, so the Chimera, this is Death Squad. They're coming through. They're looking for humans. They're trying to wipe everybody off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
I love the lighting here. Like,
It's beautiful.
I mean,
Look at the cowering.
it still looks good. Like, that's the art in this game. I mean, it's, you know, a 720p PS3 game. There's probably actually like 704 or something, like, you know, we like tricking it in every way possible, but it's still, the art is just so terrific in this game.
Yeah, 2011 was a long time ago. If you look up there, I think you still could see some
some god rays.
That's inside of the ice cream shop that you'll see later when we go fight. You'll find EMP grenades up there.
So Maru Station says, any plans for new Resistance?
Huh, I didn't think that would be asked. That's
Really?
Was
Do you
that
have an answer for that then?
Nothing right now. I mean, you never know, but everyone's really busy on Spider-Man here.
I almost did a spit take, but I thought I was going to break that. That probably cost more than I did. Is that is it a full bowling alley, or did we decide to make it a what's that?
Does not look
East
long
Coast?
enough.
No, it's a candlestick.
Oh,
What's
is that how we?
I think that's how we rationalized it eventually.
Really? I mean,
Well,
that
hey,
looks an
it
awful
was
lot like a
it was
bowling
Haven,
ball
Oklahoma. They
dispenser.
couldn't afford a full bowling alley.
There you go.
They didn't have enough space.
Yeah.
Real estate was
This is one of my favorite. So we can't hear it, but it's
The bottle?
I think they're gone. By the way.
They can hear it on the
Oh
street.
Christ! He
Yeah.
knocked
Oh.
over the bottle. Kill that guy. He's
Someone's
a
about to-
nuisance. He is not a good end times survivalist.
I'm just-
Oh, he vaporized.
Don't you think
got
he'd
your
like
voice.
remove the
You gotta
stuff
get-
from
okay,
the
You're
top?
in control. Shoot
Oh
him.
shit. I'm not
Oh,
actually in control yet.
Oh, there you go.
Now I'm in control.
yeah, that one's the freebie.
Adam, I hate to say it, you're not in control.
Flint
You're
Lockwood,
right.
thank you for the follow. So like the Magnum's awesome in this game because like you shoot guys and then you can blow up the rounds. Like they're these explosive rounds that stick, and it's just like so powerful and so good.
Oh, Haven, Oklahoma.
Sonic Destroyer, have there been any Resistance comics? Yes, there was a 6-comic series by DC Comics that, oh man,
There
what
was.
was the storyline of that now? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, but you got a stalker on your hands.
Yeah, probably do something about that. Huh?
Speeds up physics.
No, am I wrong? Was the stalker like totally broken to late in
yes.
the game? Like,
Oh, yes.
like we couldn't. It was this thing we
uh,
had working in the first game, and we couldn't get it to work or walk until
It was,
late.
yeah, it had
We
really
changed
bad
the
IK.
physics system.
Yeah, it's the physics. The IK was all wonky, so it was flying all
I mean, like-
you have to go up on the ice cream part.
I think
Right.
this was like a month or two from shipping, and it just stood in place at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
every game we ever make. That's
Yeah.
Right.
game development.
But I mean, I remember people saying like, I don't think it's gonna move. Like, I'm not sure. Like, there was actual concern that we weren't going to get it working.
Use those tags, alt fire. Nobody knows how to use alt fire, including the developers.
I'm just good enough at aiming that
That's
I don't
true.
need it right now.
And then there was the other interesting thing too, because we went back to a health bar system. Actually, the first game had like partial regeneration. This one has no regeneration.
Yeah, you were.
Battery's running low.
Yeah, we should have charged that controller for longer, shouldn't we?
Yeah, the few things that came back. So Resistance 2, we didn't have the weapon wheel. We had a 2-weapon system. And now
It's
you're
like a
gonna get
refueling mission right there for
Right.
the Air Force.
space coming.
Mid-flight, come in.
Fire from above. That up there from Resistance 1, those spires that they shot down the Chimera used to shoot
Oh
down.
yeah, that's how they
where
call
all
the
little
locusts, or what were they
Yeah.
called? Like
Silverfish.
Silverfish.
Yeah, that's where they would come out and they would convert everybody.
The
Next.
Odd Squad Clan. I don't know if that's 2 names or 1. Thanks for the follow. That's 1 name, says Corey. He stuck 1 finger up afterwards. It looked like he was pointing up to the sky, like he was praising God or something.
Christine's Diner. Christine is Ted's wife, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah. There you go. A lot of the
next-
names. So if you see any of our games, the names are usually people that work here or
loved
family
ones.
members. Yeah. Like even. Yeah, we always have so many businesses to create, especially so in a case like a game like Sunset Overdrive,
Oh, yeah.
or an open world. You could think about other open world games.
Yeah.
You never know what names you'll see and who they might relate to.
Yeah.
Silent Tremor asked what algorithms What
All of
programming algorithms do you think programmers should most learn? I saw. Or
I
what
think
are some
it means
useful
programming.
What are some useful
Programming language.
algorithms you recommend? No, they all know it's C++, but
Yeah.
what are some useful algorithms you
useful.
recommend programmers learn?
Just in general.
I guess just in general. Maybe for game programmers in particular, but
I mean, I did a lot of AI programming on Resistance, and so understanding state machines, behavior trees, understanding things like influence maps. we use a lot
Porn
of-
search engines.
Yes.
That was
Oh,
big in the
yeah.
programming community.
Yep.
that's where the real
We're
money
getting
is.
there,
You know.
One of the things that I really wanted to focus on in this game was just destruction and physics and making it really, really satisfying to murder the crap out of Chimera with your weapons.
Oh, look in this up to the left. Is it the
That?
one?
I wish you could
up
go
to
to
the
Was
left.
this where they?
Yeah, they're like.
Oh,
No, you
they
don't
closed
wanna
the curtain
look.
on
You don't
you.
want to see it.
That's as much animation as we can afford to put there. Let's
That's
close
right.
the curtain.
I like the touch. I'd forgotten completely,
they're
but
still-
the IV drips
they're
is the
still,
command
Or the health
contacts.
bars. Yeah. That's totally. I'd forgotten that too. I wish you could walk up and take it from them.
I feel like we had playtesters try and.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I need
walk
some help,
over
man.
and-
For sure.
Sorry, I know you're like getting this IV. Bodath
If you go to the
asks.
left- Wait, what was in the theater? Wasn't there something in here?
Oh, it's like a drawing of the Chimera where to
okay,
shoot and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, they're
Weak
teaching
points.
kids how to shoot
Yeah.
Chimera.
Yeah, it's
Go
like
for the
shoot their
head.
heating pack.
like that scene in Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part.
So good.
Bodath asks, why did you decide to switch from Nathan Hale to Joseph Capelli? Well,
Because Nathan
Hale
was
was
dead.
dead.
Hale had a bullet in his head. He was gone. Actually, I don't know. Did you know, I guess, so when we killed Hale, did you know that you were going to make the next game with Capelli, or did you not figure
No.
out? Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we realized that was going to be the hero. We just knew it was gonna be someone else because Hale was dead.
That's right. Yeah, and a part of it was weird, right? Because I worked on Resistance 1 and Resistance 2 as a project manager, so I was like a producer. And Ted called me in one day and said, "How do you like to get back to your creative roots?" And I said, "Awesome," because I had worked at
Cerny Games, Mark Cerny's consultancy before coming here, and it was great. So I was suddenly the creative director of Resistance 3, and it's sort of here's the keys, which is sketchy, scary, because it's Ted's game. You know, like I always figure that this is kind of Insomniac started with Ted and Al and Brian's love of Doom, and this kind of always felt to me like that fulfillment of that fantasy. So it was pretty sketchy, but I'm still here, so I guess it was all right.
Yeah, you didn't mess up that badly.
It's like here's the
It's not
keys,
bad.
and the main character of the car. Well, that's gone now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
have
That
fun.
was right. Here's the keys, but there's no car.
The car's in the ditch. You gotta pull it out and do a remodel on it real quick because we
Good
just
luck.
shot him in the head at the very end.
luck. We ran it into a cliff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, by the way, Tommy Dean, who are you going to save Tommy?
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, we're going to
As,
save
he's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal,
Oh.
Oh.
the man who is
Sunset.
everywhere.
Yeah. He was in Sunset.
Overdrive.
He was
Yep.
the male
Male lead. And stuff.
male lead in Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
Let's see. So we've got. Oh man, someone. Renegade Operative. Is there any specific engine you guys use for your games, or is it all in house?
It's mostly in-house. We do license a number of like third-party things, like we use Havoc for
Havoc.
physics and Scaleform for UI. We use Recast for doing nav mesh generation and various other tools. But the majority of stuff is stuff that we have written here in-house.
If you guys are just joining us, we are playing some Resistance 3 today. I'm sitting here. My name is James Stevenson. I'm sitting here with senior programmer Adam Noonchester and creative director Marcus Smith. And this is a PlayStation 3 game we released in 2011.
2011.
Yep, so almost 6 years ago is when this game came out.
I can pop his stack.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Oh,
good
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
I love
Did you get
doing
him?
that.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
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 It's kind of like
Yeah.
the return of the hose things.
Yeah. We really always liked the overheating, the Chimera, the hybrids.
Yeah.
So this was a good opportunity. By the way,
I
you're
should
about
probably
to die.
not die.
Yeah, you do have to get health packs, and they do drop them, so there's one right there. And if you haven't followed us on Twitch, every time someone follows us on Twitch during the stream, we're doing a donation of a brave gown
Really?
to Starlight Children's Foundation. So
We're bad. We're bad people.
That's unfortunate.
There's another spire.
Is there?
That's pretty good. This, yeah. I remember Dustin Regan, our lighting artist, was like, I grew up in Oklahoma. This does not look like Oklahoma.
yeah, it's
And you're
very
like,
wooded,
well,
hilly.
It's destroyed Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's
Well, hey,
fictional.
after terraforming and all of that, things have
Okay,
changed a
there you
little
go.
bit. Okay. Crossadile says Resistance Fall Man was my introduction to online gaming, and I got it day one with my PS3. Made so many friends, a couple of which I still have today. So thank you for that.
Awesome. What was his name?
Crossadile.
That's awesome.
I actually
Great name.
I bought a PS3 to play Resistance at launch
Yeah.
before I worked here. Yeah.
That was.
Okay.
I think most people bought it. Well, or they bought Resistance to play with their PS3. They got it at launch.
Right.
It was really. Yeah, man, that was a fun time. We had a lot of good times. Like, that was the game everyone played on PS3 for the first year and a half.
Yeah. This coming up level, we had so many bugs.
The
This-
running back?
This whole running sequence with all of the destruction and cinematic moments and needing to follow after Tommy Dean and getting everything
Yeah.
choreographed so it happened just right. Oh.
Aron27 and that Jeff M. Thanks for the follows. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. This is I just remember that we had plotted out the whole game. John Paquette, the writer, and I and Drew had like plotted out the entire game from sort of the emotional beats and the intensity. And in this section, it was like we want it really intense. You're just running home. So
Yeah.
whatever you do, don't like distract the player. Just kind of keep them moving forward. This is the swarm of bees behind the skate or die skater. And so we had a lot of problems where
That's still one of my
Yeah.
favorite destruction moments.
Yeah.
It's so good.
look up at that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He grew a little bit.
Yeah.
What did we end up calling them? Goliaths?
Goliaths.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're a
They're
little bigger
Goliaths.
than the Goliaths
Yes,
from
R2.
Resistance 1.
It's funny because I only remember the names we called them during production.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna probably fight the Brawler, but we
Yeah,
call
we're
him
called the Hulk, right?
The whole
Yeah.
time.
Hulk, yeah.
Adam's working on the Hulk.
Yep.
Like a
Yeah,
lot of
that
times
was
you
fun.
pick names that you know you can't legally do, so that people because
Because
so
you
used
get
to it.
attached. You get.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
like, so the famous story of that too. Like, the first Resistance is codenamed I-8, right?
Yeah.
And I-8 is Insomniac's 8th game.
Yeah.
But like, literally towards the end, people were like, or during the naming process, people were like, "Well, let's just call it I-8. It sounds great. We love I-8."
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
And it wasn't a
Well,
few people;
and-
it was like 30% of the
Like
company.
Johnny Garrett mentioned that in an interview with some press at some point that he was working on I-8 and
Right.
they thought that they had some big giant
Big
scoop.
Yeah.
It's like, you're working on a new Insomniac game, guys. Yeah. It's,
So here's the advanced hybrids, which
Yeah.
have a real name.
what? Oh man, what steelheads?
Steelheads.
Yep, they're
Steelheads.
steelheads.
Their weapon, the
Is
auger.
you mean the advanced alien shotgun?
The Ox.
that what it's
Yeah. That's what it was called in production.
That's
The advanced
awesome.
alien shotgun.
That's
was
Yeah,
it?
because it was for reasons.
Yeah.
It was based off of the human shotgun,
that
but
guy
it was
then.
an alien version.
Right.
Anyway,
This is another one of those weapons that made it shoots through walls. For those of you who aren't familiar
So
with Resistance.
multiplayer had to be like the weakest thing you
Multiplayer
ever.
was a real problem.
Really good for campaign. Not so good
Yeah.
for competitive.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, the multiplayer team did a really good job of taking all these disparate weapons and making them into something. With the auger, we slowed down how fast it went through the walls, so it had an advantage, but it wasn't super OP. Look at his arm came off. Give him. Give him.
So, the Agent of Doom.
Oh, you got his leg.
Corey's trying to prompt people to ask about your shirt, Marcus. Just so you know, like he's like in the chat stirring shit up about your shirt.
What about what's wrong with my
I
shirt?
don't know.
Can I swear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck you, Corey.
I didn't say anything's wrong. I just said, why are you asking about it? That's all.
Oh, okay. You're a good guy, Corey.
I just
always
like
said
it.
that.
I like
I've
it.
always said that.
I like
he's
it.
always stuck up for you.
I like that it zips from the top. I dig. I dig.
Thanks.
I do like it. I think it's cool.
We're not here to talk about my shirt. I don't
No,
remember.
You up
hand back
again?
over. So, well, it's these guys on the bridge. This is like the
Oops,
ambush.
I already
bridge.
dropped out a.
Oh, now
You
you
used all the
totally.
grenades?
I used all grenades that I have.
Oh, there's that Chimeran Flora.
I do.
Yeah.
You don't.
Exploding barrels.
You don't get a. Oh yeah, the exploding barrels of the game. Hey, at least
I
they're,
threw it out
they're
again.
yellow. Oh,
You
no.
know what? It's-
That's the
I'm
EMP grenade, right?
Yeah.
I'm so used to.
Oh, see, I've already upgraded this.
Yeah, I was gonna
the
say we
3.
got the max.
You got like the 3, the one that has
Oh
the
yeah, you
spread.
did. Awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
man.
It is playing all that.
Here's the other thing with the auger is you can see through, which is always handy.
Yeah, I feel like we nerfed how far you can see a ton in MP,
Yeah,
and then
we
it's not
have.
nearly as strong.
Actually, we had to nerf it for production reasons too, because a lot of times you could see setups before they.
Oh, because they were just sitting there spawning waiting.
You were sitting in the spawns, yeah, like
And
monster
you could,
closets.
yeah, you could kill either the frame rate or see things just pop in, or
Look how pretty that is.
yeah. I love
Uh,
our effects team.
Agent of Doomass, did you ever have a different ending planned for Resistance 3?
Oh my god, who asked
Yes.
that?
The Agent of Doom.
This is somebody who knows something that I don't like it.
You don't want to talk about that big fight at the end of New York?
We could talk about the big fight. That's right.
There were two proposals that I remember. There was one.
Used to be.
You went through the whole game meeting people at sort of different places, like in Haven.
That's right,
you
and
got
then
your
they would all
friends.
come
So they all show up at the end,
The
right?
idea was you
Yeah.
had this big fight at the end.
Yeah, we did. It was a little too Muppet movie at the end of the day. Like,
You mean it actually was the Muppet movie?
it should have been the Muppet.
They
That
wouldn't
would've
let
been
us use
awesome.
Kermit.
The crossover, Miss Piggy's like, hey, who am I gonna fuck up today? It's like, all right,
Oh,
let's-
come on. Miss Piggy would have been converted in the first 2 weeks of the Chimerian invasion.
All right, I got some ammo.
Kermit, though. Kermit's
Yeah.
the survivor.
He's the one with the teeth.
You're gonna have to fight the brawler though,
Okay,
or whatever we called him.
Brawler?
Brawler.
probably.
You know what
I
keep
think
doing?
we had
I'm
a-
trying to zoom
We
in.
also had a version of. We kept talking about them as like our traversal levels during production, where
Right.
we had the boat and then we had the train that you went through.
Yep, yep, yep.
And we wanted to have a third one where you were assaulting the terraformer
Yes.
from a helicopter.
Well, we had a sweet one that we had our animator Chi Lao actually do a little visual of, which
Oh,
was
this is a tough fight.
you were on a VTOL,
Right,
and it was
a
being
VTOL.
attacked,
Right,
and there
right.
were there was an enemy that we cut from Resistance
One.
the Flyer.
Yep.
Never got an official name.
Yeah.
Who was in this game?
It is in this game. Yeah,
Yes.
in the boat level, you see him pretty
Oh, yeah.
prominently.
Yeah. I mean,
I totally forget this.
Yeah, this was actually one of the tougher early setups in the game, I think. There's a lot of ways for guys
I
to
feel
come
like
around you.
I'm relying a little too heavily on the auger here.
this sequence
Oh,
kind of
that's-
from
is that
here up
Tommy?
until
Yeah,
it might. No,
Scary.
I think that's
no,
it.
that's a steal.
Yeah,
I
it's way
like.
too big.
I shouldn't be surprised at how this game has aged, but it has aged a lot better than I was expecting it to have aged. Like it looks.
I cannot remember where the sprint was. That's my
You
biggest
click the
problem.
I think it's
You
L3.
click
Press the stick in.
Yeah,
The L stick.
the movement stick.
Yeah.
The left, not right stick.
Oh yeah, it's the one that. The right is the one that you never want to put anything on because people inadvertently do it constantly.
Yeah, because you're always moving that one
And
around.
it's,
So that's
it's
why we
okay
put
if you
something
do it
on
on
it.
this one. Yeah, or always.
Oh, there you go. Got some health. Nice.
Yeah, we had different endings. The end.
Yeah, yeah, we did. There's different endings. There's like, yeah, you know, things always change. Like
Yeah.
even Resistance 2's ending evolved because we had sort of. Oh, jeez, you may
There's
want
a
a
whole
grenade.
bunch of them.
Give those guys a hedgehog grenade. I love the hedgehog grenade.
Still alive. Look at that guy. Oh, he was climbing.
Oh, the auger
yeah.
dude's shooting at the auger
We
guys.
spent
shooting
so
through
much
the walls
time
at you.
working on all of the traversal stuff for this game, so that
Uh,
enemies can climb all over the environment
Man,
and chase you down.
Renegade Operative asked, what's each of you guys' favorite Chimera design? Like, what was your favorite?
Oh, come on. Finally. Favorite Chimera design? In the face! Oh, he got me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember how to
nice.
get
The
out
whole
of
the hero moments, right?
Hero
Yeah, or rage mode.
Rage mode, there you go. And which comes from multiplayer of Resistance 1, which was it's really hard to balance these super powerful Chimera with humans. So Chimera had rage mode. You could go into this like animal.
Yeah, the Chimera were better. Even
Yeah, the Chimera were better.
Because like that damage spike, like there's in a 1v1 shootout, like
Yeah.
a Chimera with rage mode would win. Two evenly skilled players.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna switch back to the
Like if the player wasn't as skilled, the human could take care of them, but
That's
Chimera were better. Straight up.
By the way, I apparently don't know.
I was going to say, do you
Oh,
not
where are you
remember
going?
how to get through this?
No,
So
I'm
you,
so used to.
You want to go to the back right, basically. You were almost there when you were
Yeah.
fighting those guys over on that train station. That's the way out, like over
You have to go up those
terminal.
stairs.
Yeah, you have to go up the stairs you were on that you jumped off, up where that fire is coming from. That's definitely where you want to go.
Bam! I just
Oh, I
wanted
see.
to magnum the hell out of that.
Okay, any favorite Chimera like design model? The ones that were invisible and came out of nowhere and killed you.
Yeah.
in Resistance
I'm
2?
going to go with no on that one. I actually like the hybrids quite a bit.
Yeah.
Pants or no pants?
Boy, that takes me.
I don't really care, actually. That was one debate that I never really felt the need to weigh in on.
Black Demon 47, Eric Empire, Viking 805 fan. Thank you for the follow. We'll be donating a Brave gown for each follow we get today to a kid in a children's hospital. So thank you for following. If you're just joining us, we're playing Resistance 3, which is a PlayStation 3 game we released about 6 years ago. And I'm sitting here with senior programmer Adam Noonchester and Resistance 3 creative director Marcus Smith.
Who doesn't remember the setup at all?
Can't figure his way out of it.
He's really good at playing his own game. That's what we've learned.
There's a massive debate at Insomniac about whether the Chimeran and me should wear pants.
Pants or no
Yes.
pants.
Pants or no pants. And chat, let us know what you think. Should they have pants? Should they have no pants? They ultimately have pants
Yeah.
because no one wanted to see.
Yeah, so weigh in on something that's already been solved.
Well, but maybe really you could just be argumentative with us and tell us that we were wrong by
Nobody
putting pants on.
would ever do that. Oh man, it's the wrong button. I keep thinking that
It is a
the
little
zoom
weird
is on
playing.
the wrong button.
Oh,
Well,
Or not the wrong button.
but like it's like PS2, like shooting
Damn.
with R1 and L.
In
It's
your
this door.
face!
Now you've killed him all. He'll go through the door right in front of you.
Oh, now that I'm nearly dead.
Does the artist love the look of the Chimera? Who's the artist behind the Chimera and look back at this? Darren Quach, Rodrigo?
Darren,
Yeah.
Carlos was here. Man, well, it would have gone back to Resistance 1, where we had a lot of people, like John Woo was one of our concept artists. I forget who did all the
I
characters.
remember working with Carlo a lot on Resistance
Carlo,
3.
yeah.
He did the design for Satan, for...
Yeah.
I thought he did the design for the Hulk.
Yeah, they're out there. Alien Monkey 42. I don't remember who. Darren Quach is a big one. Carlo's a big one.
Yeah, Carlo did a lot more of the characters, and
Yeah.
Darren did a lot of the structure. Darren's like the best at mechs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Darren is a crazy person.
Oh, watch! There's a guy. I think there's a guy up in that truck
Yeah,
that
look
was
at you using the
shooting at.
shield.
Oh, yep. Oh god.
Yeah, he was
Oh
a
god.
sneaker.
Oh.
To be fair, I did not give him very
much.
much health to start this.
Yeah, and actually that guy kind of blended in because he turned around and just let him
Yeah.
tee off on you from behind.
It's been a few
We'll do
years.
better.
We'll do better.
Yeah.
I just want you to get to the
When we get the Hulk,
non-Hulk.
the whatever
The
the
do
hell
not,
he called him.
don't sue us, Hulk.
Yeah.
So Marcus, is your choice to explore? This is a question from
Yeah.
Black Demon 47.
Right.
Is your choice to explore Joseph Capelli after you took Nathan Hale out? Like that was,
Yes, in that we could have made somebody up new. We could have played as Malakoff, which would have probably been a little bit less exciting as the old man kind of like strolling his way through.
I don't know, after Taken and
What do you
all
think?
of that renaissance of old man beats up.
Yeah, no, it made a lot of sense to use Joseph Capelli after he killed Nathan Hale. Again, trying to show off sort of the facets of humanity. He was still alive, which was nice because the other Sentinels were dead that we knew, so that's a real disadvantage. We did joke a lot, and I kind of wish we had done it, that we were going to do co-op. That was the ghost of Nathan Hale with the hole in his head. That the second player could play as the ghost of Nathan Hale. That would have been awesome.
yeah.
Never heard that one.
Yeah,
All
I
that I-
remember that. Yeah.
All I remember was at one point we were talking about letting you play as Malikov in co-op.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We didn't have a good answer for co-op. Is the thing. We wanted co-op, but we didn't want to like get too involved.
Yeah, you didn't want to have like this extra
Guy with you
story
constantly,
character
yeah,
and have to
yeah.
always like explain who it was. Like
Yeah.
it's basically just like fellow survivor, right, helping him out.
Yeah. In
Uh,
Resistance 1, it was Craig Tinsley, one of our
oh,
QA
yeah.
testers.
Yep, I remember that. So let's see here. Viking 805 fan, will you guys ever make another Resistance game? I loved all three, also the portable one. I'd love to play one on PS4 Pro.
Cool.
Never say never. We're not making one right now.
Never
It's
say never.
possible. Keep telling PlayStation you want it, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I do think that PlayStation owns Resistance and publishes Resistance. So if you guys make, the demand for it known, you never know what could happen, I guess. But we're not making one right now. We have no plans to make one. But like I said, it's not like...
I think there are a lot of people in the studio who would really like to go back to revisit Resistance. There's stories that we definitely would still like to tell.
Yeah.
Well, and there are things that you can do in a violent world like this that you can't always do in something like Ratchet and Clank. A lot of my fondest memories of working on this are working on things like the Plague Thrower, like the Ice Gun, working on...
What Ratchet and Clank was it where Ratchet just beats the hell out of that guy with the wrench for like 5 minutes, blood and guts and sinewy
Ratchet and Clank
brains.
Old Boy?
Yeah.
Yes. That was actually one of the nice things about that PS3 era was like a lot of people were going back and forth from Ratchet to Resistance.
Yeah.
And so like it was like, oh, fun animated world.
Yeah.
Oh, dark, gritty. Like if you didn't have to be pigeonholed into one style. You just had to ship a game every year.
I forgot about Old Boy. Ratchet and Clank Old Boy.
Yeah.
That was good. That was where we introduced Ratchet's
that
daughter.
alley scene that really makes it stand apart. The hammers.
Maybe we shouldn't make any more games.
Ratchet Extreme 6 asks, related to Ratchet, how do you guys feel the Ratchet and Clank movie went? Great. You make a movie, and I think fans of the series enjoy the movie quite a bit. There's a lot of good fan service at it. It feels relatively authentic to the characters, I think. Like, it's always hard to take a video game and turn it into a movie, so, looks good. It's got all the guns in it. Farius is fun. Game was great. We're really happy about the game. That's really what we made the game, and the movie, we tried to help with as much as we could.
Here comes a terraformer, by the way.
Also, the movie helped the game get made, and there's a lot of the cutscenes that we were able to take from the movie, which also helped us make the game.
As well as models.
Without the movie, there is no Ratchet and Clank PS4.
Show the stop sign. Show the stop sign. Turn around. Turn all the way around. To your right there.
Oh, it's yellow.
Yeah, because old stop signs were yellow, and everybody thought that was blue.
I remember at one point, talking to you about how much alternate history that we wanted to do, and you telling me that at one point you had recorded a bunch of dialogue for Resistance where people actually spoke in the way of the
50s.
1940s and 50s, and didn't work so well.
Yeah, people
Don't relate.
Yeah,
Well, it's like nobody knows what the 70s is like, or the 50s, because it's like you think about Happy Days now, the 70s version of the 50s.
That makes sense. Which basically with Hamilton is how we're all going to think about the revolution eventually, the rapping founding fathers.
Founding fathers.
Yep.
That's not the way it happened.
Right.
Bringing history to life one beat at a time.
You remember when Drew wanted to cut this gun?
Is this the
Marksman?
Marksman? Right at the
Look,
end,
it's right here
at
in
the
the
end of
room.
production.
It's right here in the room.
Why? What
Was it too? Did Drew think it was too OP?
Developer fatigue, basically.
yeah.
We've been playing with.
Yeah.
It was the first gun. It hadn't changed a lot through all of production, and
It just didn't
people
feel...
were just like, "I'm tired of using this gun."
Yeah.
It's like,
Which-
That's great.
yeah.
It's-
Well, that's always a hard thing. We look at things so much sometimes we think we might think they suck, but then somebody's
Right.
never seen it. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wait, what? Really?
Well, it's one of the big reasons why we do things like playtesting and look to get feedback from people as often as we do. Is
We can't trust
because
ourselves at some point.
like at a certain point you've played, I played these levels hundreds of times,
Yeah.
and wasn't even in QA.
Right. They played them even more. It's like why I think I have this. I thought I had played more of this game at home, but I think I only played about half of it at home because I probably played more of it, but I played the hell out of it for work and everything else.
Yeah, I usually play games twice after we ship them. Once, when it comes out, and then another time 2 years later.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of lose the context of what other games were out at the time or whatever. You
Yeah.
can see it with fresh eyes.
Well, and it. Thanks.
Remember PlayStation 3? Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
glorious.
Yeah, I actually just played through this past spring. Played through Sunset Overdrive again.
Oh, yeah.
Played it once when it came out, and played through it again.
Yeah, we were playing it in here the other day after the Cuphead stream because we were doing some testing and stuff. I was like, I miss Sunset Overdrive. It was such fun times. Let's see.
It's been long enough that I've forgotten all of the bugs.
Alien
That's the best
Alien
part.
Monkey 42. I remember this game being easier than 2. Was that done on purpose or was it just me?
I wouldn't say that we deliberately tried to make it easier. We tried to make it more fair.
Hey, thanks for the follow, hey, on Terex. Appreciate that. Donating a Brave Gown to Starlight on your behalf. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's just different. Maybe the playstyle makes it easier in some ways. Like if you're more of a run and gun health pack player, like you know.
Well, we went back to
No act tuning.
there was no game-wide act tuning. That's true. But we did have a difficulty setting that was legitimate. It was.
Yeah, aren't I on like
act
super
tuning,
easy mode right now?
No, you're on normal.
You're
I think.
normal.
You
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
James started it.
Yeah, I started on normal. Act tuning was game-wide act tuning was basically like if you were getting through the game really fast, the game gets harder. And all the PS2 games had it. I think I don't know.
It gets into a weird spot.
Resistance 2 was the last game that we used it on.
Yeah. And that one.
Yeah, like players that explore and look around a lot, the game gets easier for them. Thanks for the follow, Snake Eater 566.
And a lot of people want to play a game on normal or easy just to kind of get through and experience it. They're not really looking for the hardcore challenge. But then if they went too fast, they got to a place where it was more difficult than the difficulties.
Yeah. Right. Well, and that was also all those games didn't really have difficulty settings, so they were just supposed to help you catch it.
Right.
The game catch
It was
up.
supposed to dynamically adjust.
Which, it does in some aspects, but it has its fallbacks as games get more wide open and hard. Like, when it's a linear corridor, someone's going down. Oh, the jumpers or leapers.
Long legs.
Long legs. There's the real name. I think
that one was super clever.
Oh, I love it.
Right in his head.
There's a Steve Ryder special.
Steve Ryder.
Renegade Operative asked, do you still keep in touch with Naughty Dog?
I mean,
I literally had Arnie was here for lunch on Tuesday, yes, it's not. I wouldn't say it's this big formal thing, but there's lots of people who know people over there. Sure. Occasionally, I think when we're between projects, like someone might be like, "Oh, how'd you guys do this?" And then maybe some of their folks come over and talk about how they did mocap or animation.
Well, and it's such a small studio. Like Scott, who probably lit this level that we're talking about, is over at Naughty Dog.
Right.
We have a bunch of employees that go back.
And we have some people that came from Naughty Dog and vice versa. So
yeah. But I think everybody always goes back to the engine, right, from Girl with Dick Ratchet, which was the story has been sort of destroyed over time, right?
We got some of the code, and we traded some code pieces for the engines back in the PS2 days, but it was still our engine and their engine.
Exactly.
We had some of their inclusion tech, I think.
And it's so. I mean, people are like, well, Resistance or Ratchet could only have been built with Naughty Dog, and it's like, well, they certainly helped get us off the ground when we switched from Girl.
Right. And everyone had, and like I said, and then they had stuff that Al wrote that they stuck in their game too. So, thanks for the follow, the Little 128 and Los Dreams.
I remember very deliberately.
Can you grab that?
Well, I tried to. It was green. I remember very deliberately going in and making the long legs jump as soon as they got attacked.
Yeah.
Because it looked really cool when they jumped through the air and all of your shots went through them.
Fury 1986, thank you for the follow. We are donating a Brave Gown for every follower today during the stream, so appreciate you guys doing that. Little kid will be happy to get that Brave Gown. If you want more on the Brave Gown, just check out our blog on insomniac.games, which is our website, and you can actually see the design of the gown and read a little more about that whole program. Where in the timeline is Resistance Retribution? We didn't make Retribution.
No, we didn't.
I want to say Retribution's in Paris.
So
I think it's before R2 or around the same time as R2, whereas this is set years later.
Right.
So it's more back in the initial Chimeran War timeline. But I couldn't tell you exactly because, again, we didn't make that game. It's not our story. And that is the thing. The comic series, the B series in the comic relates to the European theater, if I remember right. But I can't remember what the A series and the AA thing. I feel like Hale's in it, though, because Hale's on one of the covers.
Well, he was in the European Front, so it makes sense.
Yeah, not in their story though. I think the main story. I think the main story is between
Stop
our
sign going crazy
Look
now.
at the wind, yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the coolest things. When the terraformers getting
But thanks for the
close-
station, or question, Maru Station. Sorry.
Yeah, Maru Station. We don't have an answer for you, but thanks.
We're really useful here.
We're super useless. So yeah, the whole point of this whole area was the terraformers getting close. We wanted to show that by having the wind, and so by the time you fight the brawler, you feel like you're just getting torn apart. I remember talking to the audio guys about you really want the wind to be the prominent part of this section. Because normally, our guns are the loudest thing you can hear in the game. And we kind of overrode that a little bit here.
King Zappa, Jack Blast, Renegade Operative, and Easy Schmitz. Thank you all for the follows. That's 4 Brave Gowns going to Starlight, so really appreciate that. Thanks for checking out today. Thanks for all the questions so far today, guys, too. I'm trying to get to as many as we can. As Corey mentioned, we're probably trying to stick more to Resistance questions. We will be playing a Ratchet & Clank game, I think, next week. I have to look at the schedule. Within the next 2 weeks, though, so a lot of Ratchet questions can definitely get answered on the stream next week as well. So if I don't get to them, apologies. Cloudtastic, you were just mentioning, or we just talked about the PSP Vita games a little bit. We weren't involved with those games too much. I guess there were 2, right? There was a PSP and a, because the Vita was Burning Skies, right? And that was in the. So I think Retribution was more R1 timeline. Burning Skies was R2 because that was set in America.
Burning Skies, it was Nihilistic did it, and we request. Yeah, there was some weird thing where the timing got weird because of us for them, because we had to come out first, Resistance 3, just because of the timeline, order of events, and the stories. And I think that's why they ended up doing one of those PlayStation All Stars or.
Oh yeah, okay. And then there was we also had all the connectivity. That was one of the things we had to work on too, because I think the games had stuff where you could connect the 2 of them with each other.
Yeah, that was R2.
Yeah, R2 had that with the PSP game, I think.
But we had that too, where
there was something.
There was some at least thematic things, maybe not functional things, but like when you're in the subways in New York, you saw the protagonist of that game. People were doing a tag everywhere, and you could see that.
Yeah. I feel like there was something you unlocked. Maybe just an unlock or a skin, multiplayer skin unlock or something like that you got.
Sorry I made Adam play all this, but the deprogram is good.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Chasing you around. You're crushing him though. There's no. I love just the sidestep of a matador, basically ole, and just right by.
You're acting like I played this before.
Oh, do I?
Acting like you gave him all his abilities.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we're playing Resistance 3, which is our game that came out on PlayStation 3 2011. I'm here with senior programmer Adam Noonchester and creative director Marcus Smith. We're just completing the first area of the game. You can unplug it. You probably have enough juice to survive.
And my juice.
You may have to. There you go.
He didn't need that.
I'll start even with a question. Low Stream says, "Hey, you guys never played any of these games. Any chance for a remastered trilogy?" That'd be awesome. I think the challenge, of course, once again, Sony owns the rights and all that. We don't make generally straight up port remasters in house like the HD collection for Ratchet. We didn't do. The big challenge on any of the PS3 exclusives is PS3 exclusives are all built for the cell and this architecture that's really, really different, and so it makes it really hard to port those games successfully to current platforms. The multi-platform games are generally all made for PC and architecture similar, and then ported to PS3. But the PS3 games don't have that benefit of having a version that works really well on other platforms. So that's the uphill hurdle for these games seeing remastered life. But you never know. It would be cool because I do think there are probably a lot of people that missed it on the PS3 generation, and I think especially the campaigns all hold up really, really well. Especially this one. This is the best of the campaigns in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree. This is where the mitten gets introduced.
Yeah.
Is there any gun ideas, Alien Monkey 42? Were there any gun ideas you had that you realized ultimately didn't work?
I made the carbine shoot Libras.
Oh, that
was fun.
Yeah.
I tried to get Steve Ryder to make me an animation to let it just attach to people and fall all over them.
I feel like Nathan Fouts on Resistance 1 was kind of the king of the OP weapon. He would be, at least if it wasn't something that just destroyed everything.
A missile that shoots a missile that shoots a turret that shoots missiles.
Exactly. There goes Haven, Oklahoma. Now it officially
what were we
is.
calling it?
I told you it's a butthole of
Butthole,
Oklahoma.
right?
Now it's
Now it's
official.
had its technology exam.
So yes, we've had a lot of weapons. Actually, the biggest issue that we have with some of the weapons are when they break, when we can't get them in frame.
Well, and that's usually multiplayer because you get
It's
all
usually
of QA. Everybody stands in the same spot and shoots in the sky.
That's right. and
The game
and they'll
crashes.
tank the. All right, so this is my favorite mission, I think, in
The
this.
boat?
The boat mission. It was one of those where I love to be proven wrong, because a lot of times I'll be like, oh, this is going to be boring, this is going to be whatever, trying to imagine it. And Lisa Brown was the like junior designer, and she did a really good job of taking a small team of people and really getting them like super involved. Of course, there were great talent. Like Craig Goodman was on this mission, just doing amazing work. Rob Mobbs was doing like trying to figure out how do you do combat on a moving platform.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that you just go, that should be easy, right? And then somebody explains.
See,
it.
terraforming.
They're
Yeah.
they're terraforming the Earth.
I always liked that we did these. I thought it did a
Yeah.
much better job of like
There's an
orienting
advancement.
where you're going and
That's
where
right.
you've been.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was very good.
Yeah, the boat, like for a long
yeah.
time, you couldn't even like getting a platform moving through the world that you
Yeah.
could move on was just a gigantic.
That was
We
the
used to
rough
just
part.
kind of like vibrate
The
up
vibration,
and down.
yeah. So the whole idea of this was we were saying, okay, in our tonal chart, this is the beginning of your adventure, and so we want it to be really like ominous and like obfuscate what you're seeing. It's very Apocalypse Now. Like you can see the fog, you don't know what's lying ahead. The whole game was plotted out. Grant Hollis was art director early on, did a lot of color charts and really describing sort of that journey.
Yeah.
And I think this really shows it. This is great.
I thought that was one of the things that you guys did that really helped for most of production. Was you had a wall set up in one of the conference rooms.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just had like every single level
And
then it
literally
had-
like a chart. It's like a graph chart that show that intensity level. And,
Yeah.
and we've done it on all of our big games since. I feel like have used those charts, and at some point we've had a wall showing the intensity through the whole like
Yeah, and obviously-
story.
I think one of the things with Resistance 3 that we did was that you guys had that so early,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Yeah.
like,
Oh, wait,
on
no,
other
sorry.
games I've seen it come on a little bit late, but having it from the beginning where you know that like we want to go from
I mean,
the
part of it too is
gold colors to these blue. And,
Yeah, and that was true. You even had the color palette changing, like
Yeah.
with the color palette, like
yeah, and we would bolt like, okay, where are you getting which weapon for the first time? Where are you encountering which
Yeah.
enemy for the first time?
The
which
macro.
mechanic?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all of this stuff, being able to kind of tie it all together. In
Well,
sort
and,
of a
and part of it
visual
is
way.
because it's a linear game.
Yeah.
You can do
Yes.
that. Like
Yes.
with Sunset being an open world game, it's a lot harder.
Yes.
This was a
I love
controlled.
this. I love the idea of this flooded town. It's just so good.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you don't really think about, but we had some feedback from Japan because flooding,
Oh, because the earthquake, right? Was it-
earthquake.
Yeah, right around that. Yeah.
And look at
I
that.
love this.
Oh.
Look at that guy.
Hey, here's some foreshadowing for you.
Yeah.
Well, or unshadowing.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Previous
Reshadowing
for the
Reshadowing.
previous game.
Look at him gutting it.
Oh,
Eating it
yeah,
up.
so good. And the lighting, just again, killer.
Birds.
Low Stream says, I know this game is co-op focused. This is a good single-player experience as well. Actually, it's not really co-op focused.
No,
like
it has co-op.
It has co-op. It's just like if you saw the commercial, you might think it was sharpshooter and move control focused, but it's very... I don't. My favorite is we supported everything. So like we have the big blue PlayStation
Yeah.
Move compatible, and then we've got the 3D compatible, and the PlayStation. Like at some point, like this is like the most minimalist box art I think anyone's ever done for a big AAA game.
Yeah,
And
Ollie
Moss.
Moss.
Yep, our boy Ollie Moss. Hi Ollie, your cool Die Hard poster at Mondo yesterday was awesome. But it looks like a NASCAR thing because
Yeah.
there's like every single logo and its mom on there. I think that was the breaking point though. I really think our box was the breaking point because they stripped a ton of those logos back out afterwards. But it was just like, well, it has to have this logo. It has to have this logo.
Oh, you upgraded the shotgun too.
Yeah.
Look at that,
Don't
incendiary
make it
shots.
bone.
Oh wait, I already shot him.
So yeah, it's not co-op. It's really single player focused.
Yeah.
I'd say it's single player campaign focused, and multiplayer is a focus too for us. But the co-op was sort of we added online co-op. Now, if you want some actual co-op focus, Resistance 2 has I don't even know if the
Not anymore.
servers are up. Yeah, the servers are gone,
Yeah.
right? So no, never mind. You can play that like 2-player offline, but it's not nearly as good as it was with 8-player
I don't
on.
think you'll be able to make it through most of it with
Yeah,
just
two
two people.
players. Yeah, you'd have to be really good. So never mind. But all the campaigns, like I said, I think the multiplayer servers are all down now.
Right.
I believe
Yeah,
that's
I believe so.
true. So anyway,
I really love being able to see like the places that the Chimeran technology has just kind
Has
of
taken
come in
over.
and perverted real like human stuff.
Look at Goliath moving.
Let us see where this takes us.
Love that sound.
must
it
stay
makes.
away from the
Kind of
Goliath.
warbling.
And
If-
that ice coming out from the camera and stuff. I forgot about
You
that.
got John Ballard's tentacle animations
Oh,
going on
yeah.
those little wires.
So good.
Renegade
Moving
Operative
back and
said,
forth.
was it always intended to kill Hale off at the end of 2, or did you have a different ending in mind before? I feel like there was the leak. Wasn't it the leak that caused Hale's death?
I remember, and I feel like again Marcus Lull came up with that idea, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the official
I
story.
feel like-
Ted would remember. I don't.
Yeah, well, we'll probably play Resistance 2 at some point, but there was a massive leak on Resistance 2, and we still don't really know where it came from.
Europe.
It wasn't Europe. It was not. They didn't have those docs. Like, there was a big leak of a bunch of games, and I feel like
it's commercial break, right? Sorry. go ahead.
yeah, we have commercials online.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I feel like happened. There was definitely a desire to change some things because the leak basically gave away the entire story of the game.
It did.
For Resistance 2.
Surfer Girl.
Yeah, Surfer Girl. That was an odyssey. Surfer Girl was this blog, and
I got hired right after that whole thing went down, and that was like the
We
one
couldn't
thing
blame
that
it
Ted.
on you.
No, that was the one thing that Ted wanted to talk about the day that I got hired. He does like has a meeting with everybody on their first
this is
day.
one of the best moments of this
Yeah,
whole
this is
level.
pretty awesome.
This is like,
Gotta get ready.
yeah. Oh, you get the scope for it.
Yep.
So we've got. It's Christmas. It was Christmas when this town gets evacuated. So you've got the Christmas
Yeah, the
decorations.
Christmas decoration.
And I think isn't there a car in this parking lot? It's in this parking lot, right? That
It's
has
a
the
flooded
tree on
parking
top.
lot.
There's like the presents and the tree. I feel like there's like a car with a Christmas tree
the
on
Christmas
the top.
tree on top. Yeah.
And that.
If you set the game to a certain date, I made it so that all
I'll
of
be
the
back.
gnomes will throw gnomes at you. Garden gnomes instead of rocks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They do throw garden gnomes.
I think it was April, wasn't April 1st because that was too obvious, but it was something like April 20th or something like that.
So 420.
I forget who suggested
Dude,
it.
there's garden gnomes flying at me. Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, you're right. That is in there somewhere. I don't know where Marcus went. So
We're really
he said he
really
didn't want to
offended
be
him.
here today, and I guess he just decided to cut out all at once. Let's see. We never intended Death Badger. Did you intend to end the series after 2? No, we did not intend to end the series after 2. So that was not the reason. Like I said, we were definitely planning to make Resistance 3 the entire time we were making Resistance 2. Things like that are always in flux, though. Just like any game developer might be thinking they're making a sequel and put a teaser ending and then not get to make the sequel, or they might be planning to make a sequel the whole time and then find out, or they might not be planning and wrap it up and then try and figure out how they're going to do it. So, or a game,
Yeah,
lots of games.
You're
where-
always thinking about like what could you do next?
Yeah.
What
Right, and then it's about how much you put that into the story. Would you want it to be a complete thing? Do you just plan a teaser at the end? So there's always those conversations in any sort of thing, because you don't know a lot of times until a game is either successful or not successful what's
Right.
actually going to happen. Viking 805 fan, I love the 8-player co-op in Resistance 2. Why was it not implemented in R3? Mainly because we wanted to do campaign co-op. That was the reason,
Yeah.
if I remember, and that was it was like having 3 different games in R2, having
Right.
60-player multiplayer, which we lowered the player count there too. 8-player co-op and a campaign was like 3 completely different video games, and I think we figured if we combined co-op into the main campaign, we could make the main campaign better.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the thought process.
I love how things look when they're on fire.
Oh, dynamic lights are the best.
Cloudtastic asked, "Does this game have an April Fool's event or Halloween event?" Yeah, it wasn't April Fool's exactly though, like you said. I don't remember
what date we.
But there was that date for
chosen.
the gnomes.
And it was these guys threw gnomes, and then Satan would throw gnomes at you, as well.
I mean, they were vicious gnomes. It wasn't just like,
Oh yeah, like they did plenty of damage, and they had those spiky
oh, you
pops.
blow 'em.
Cody
Bogey
Hodard or
995.
CDY Hodard, thank you for the follow. Like I've said before, everyone that follows during the stream today, we're donating a Brave Gown to Starlight, which is a children's charity in hospitals, and Brave Gowns You can find out a lot more on Insomniac.games on our blog, but we designed these brave gowns that kids wear while they're getting medical procedures and tests done to kind of help them feel brave for it. And we made a design. It came. The winning Insomniac design was by Dave Gurton, who's from Creature, who also you may know as Creature Box and Ratchet and Clank art. You can check it all out on our site. So follow us on Twitch if you haven't. Click that little button.
So you can shoot their legs off, right?
Yeah,
crawling
they're still
around.
good crawl after you. There you go. It's on fire crawling after you.
Ratchet Extreme 6 says, why was Resistance 2 so different than 1 and 3? Well,
That's Ted.
yeah, I think 3...
I mean, we weren't in church. That's
Well, but you were in charge of 3, so you could talk at least
Oh.
about. I think so.
Well,
The aspect
3.
of 3,
Oh,
like
yeah.
3, in terms of why you chose to go back to the weapon wheel. I mean, I think that was really just a response to people responding to 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was really going back to what made 1 awesome, right? Like, what's that zoom button?
I think it was people really
that
respond.
make
People were kind of like, "Oh, what happened? Why am I regenerating health? Like, I liked the health bar. I liked
Right.
weapon wheel." So we had a lot of that feedback that we were. I think
We were trying to go back to that classic feel too. Part of the thing is with a health pickup system, you do get in those like little Mario situations where you play different as little Mario than you do as Big Mario, right? So
Yeah.
we liked it when you would get down to that low amount of health. This is what I wanted to point out. So,
See the guy up there?
Craig Goodman put one of our dummies up there.
Just looking out the window.
He's just checking us out creepily. It's like Slender Man.
Ricky Jedi and JMain518, thank you for the question or for the follows. Appreciate that. Brave Gowns coming in your name. Thank you guys all for the follows.
I love
Ren-
the way this goes.
So similarly to what convinced you, why the move support? I think it was every, but I think it was one of those things where
Can we
move
turn
support
questions
was.
off?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but just to talk about that more, like given like the Wii's success and the priority that PlayStation had on motion controls at that time, they were definitely hoping all of their big first party games.
We're definitely interested in seeing move
for
support.
sure.
Yeah.
So that was.
We were also
you know,
in 3D. I don't know
yeah,
if you guys
you
remember
did 3D. You can use a
TV.
3D TV, which like the game renders at half resolution to make that
Yeah.
work. But
Kids,
Headache-inducing.
kids, ask your grandparents about 3D TVs.
point that towards me a little more, Corey, because it's kind of leaning back, so it's hard to. The great Hobo Lord, the great Hobo Lord. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. And
You know you can refill your health by going into the...
yeah, there's the little health box that does. It does run out eventually, though, I think, right? The health
No.
box. No, it doesn't.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, where is it? It's in the back.
It's
It's
in
in
the
the-
it's
it's
in
in the
the
cabinet.
wheelhouse. Yeah.
That thing.
That's right.
I thought it did eventually run.
I
out.
think it does eventually.
I think like the ammo doesn't run out, but I think the health does.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's eating.
Death Badger, if
No,
your
no,
question
no,
didn't get
no.
answered, it's back up in the chat. Repost it. It's hard for me to scroll back and see what I missed and didn't miss, so apologies for that. I'm trying to get as many. Oh,
Something about the names of these ships. I forget. There's some history.
K Tiger asked if we can stream this entire game. Maybe we'll come back and stream it again in like, I don't know, a few weeks, months, something like that. We'll do the next level or something.
Keep our save.
Yeah, we can keep our save. Like, we definitely can come back, so if you guys want to see us do more of Resistance 3, we can make Marcus come to this room and
This
play
is
some
one of
more.
my. No, Adam has to come.
Dark Jack,
This is
thank
my
you
favorite
for
spot.
the follow. Really appreciate that. Yeah, this bridge moment's pretty sweet,
Yeah.
because then well, I'm not going to spoil it if people haven't played this.
This is one of the first of those big destruction moments
Yeah.
that we got working.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that was
that's
one of the
right.
big things that we were trying to add for this game.
Yeah,
Was
drop ships. Yep. Look at out of the fog comes the Goliath. He sees you. No.
Must I hear and pray does not take notice.
crunch.
Man, look at that. Bridge
Oh,
down.
Fuck you, bridge.
Yeah, so good.
We hate bridges at Insomniac.
Yeah.
Every Resistance game has bridges.
Or
Keep
at
going.
least multiple bridges.
Zach Adams, lead environment artist.
This is where they're way bigger.
Yeah.
This is the big.
This is like, wait,
Yeah.
the scale of this thing's way bigger than we've seen these things in the
Yeah.
past.
And even in like the last level.
Right.
You don't
And again-
say.
Some of the great destruction moments.
Yeah.
But these were all pre-baked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
this
like-
is a Maya sim.
Yeah, but we had to develop a bunch of technology to actually get it
To
to
work.
export and work correctly.
But I mean, like, this is
Axel-
kind of like right
Axel
before.
Axel-
I was gonna say Axel.
Yeah, he's out at Sony Santa Monica now, I think. Working on God of War.
Oh, they're turning on us. We're screwed. How do we ever? Oh, I'm actually taking damage. Are you kidding me?
It's turning around.
Oh,
Uh-oh. You gotta get that boat out of there fast enough.
Yeah. I forgot that I had drones on me. I got drones on me.
Should have talked to her about that.
Seriously, you kind of
If you have drones for more than 6 hours, then
My
Any chance, Death Badger says, any chance for a remake for these games like you've done with Ratchet and Clank? Kind of talked about that earlier in the stream. Not anything in the works. Never say never.
it'd be cool.
Obviously, like a remaster, even just like a port would be pretty cool if you could play the campaigns. But
I'd love to kind of be able to take sort of the mechanics that exist in 1, 2, and 3 and kind of do a better job of unifying them because the games do feel so
they're
different.
so different.
Like if we could have the weapon wheel in all of them and a more standard,
Like, I
like,
love
come on, choose one health model and kind of stick with it.
Yep.
so you're saying if we did go back, Renegade Operative said if you had a chance to hypothetically refine Resistance with the current knowledge you have now, you would like to. Excuse me. You would like to sort of unify all of that and like make it feel
Yeah,
smooth
if we
from
were
a
going-
gameplay mechanic wise.
Well, if we were going back to the original 3, yeah, finding a way to maybe unify them a little bit better. We also had different kind of rendering styles in each of the games as well. That like,
This has kind
two-
of that soft painterly look almost.
yeah, and two had that weird kind of.
Tell me how you really feel.
It had that weird kind of washed out look to some of our posts, right?
Adam's
Where we were
favorite
trying to get
post.
everything to. Oh yes, I pushed real hard to have a mode to turn off
all
posts because I am the person in the world that does not like depth of field, that does
Yeah,
not
yeah.
appreciate.
Your motion blur, depth of field.
A little bit of motion blur is okay.
Yeah.
I don't really like. Not a big fan of film grain.
Oh man, you and Grant Hollis must get along real well.
Yeah.
We do actually, funnily enough.
Like, I want to turn off your motion blur.
Yeah.
I want to turn off your depth of field. Oh, get that health.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
that health.
I do remember having to do specific work to get motion blur to work on this stupid boat.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like you're always moving all the time, but don't.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Like,
because when it was originally turned on, the whole screen
Screen
would
would
just
blur
swim
out, yeah.
because everything is always moving.
Moving,
So we
right.
had to do work to.
Boom!
make it work. And actually, this is this road segment because I guess there's the train, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the flying segment is really short, right?
No, it does
we
not-
didn't-
it's only a
movie.
cinematic.
It is only cinematic. And was there supposed to be a car segment too originally?
No, it was supposed to be the VTOL section and it didn't work for co-op.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I cut it. No, because I was definitely
Oh.
like, it was like when we talked about the campaign for this game, there was all the locations, and then there was like the road interstitial moments where.
Ah!
You in trouble, son.
Oh, get in there!
And
Yeah.
If
actually,
only someone had made
It's
that boat a
funny.
little bit bigger.
It's funny, we started making this game. We had already decided, like, John and I were working on the script about making it a road picture.
Making it, we wanted to show off
Yeah,
humanity, as we said.
Got you.
And the best way to do it was, I'll just put, oh, thank you. Best way to do it was make it a road game where you're on the move, right? And so we started writing this, and then somebody was like, hey, did you read The Road, by the way? Because it's like a dark, post-apocalyptic road thing. So we read that, and then
it's
Greg
by Cormac
Phillips-
McCarthy.
Yeah, Cormac McCarthy, sorry.
Yeah, it's a good book. It's not even that long either. Like it's 200 pages.
You know what? I've still never seen the movie because the book on me.
Yeah, the movie's more the same. So it's very dark. It's darker than Resistance 3 is.
For
so
sure.
beware if you check it out that you can sleep well at night.
Well, and then Greg Phillips up at Sony, our producer up there, was like, "Oh, you should read Old Man Logan, the Wolverine story. That was also a road picture." Oh, I'm gonna get the road here. Where's that? Hold that. Thank you. But yeah, so we had a lot of influences, but they almost all came after the fact, unfortunately. I mean, a lot of people were looking at the road or reading the road when we were new.
Yeah, I remember. We talked about the road a lot.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to answer the final question on the PS4. I love it. We're on PS3. We're actually on a PS3, and we haven't updated the software. because we were afraid it might break things. Because we actually were up to like the last minute getting the PS3 plugged in because you can't turn HDCP off on PlayStation 3s. So we're running through the Frame Meister on component cables, and everything's good now. On the Resistance 4 or remakes of these 3 games question, that's really in PlayStation. Like, it's up to them. They own the rights. Like, we're not making anything right now. We don't have any plans to make anything. But, you know, especially ports would be cool someday. If you've asked that question. I'm going to ask you guys one last question since we're going to in between levels here, and then we'll wrap up. What was your favorite set piece that took a lot of time to make that you're proud of for the Resistance series or R3? Which
I mean, timing was pretty good. That bridge sequence was like one of the most. I think that's where it was early enough in the game that when that was demonstrated, people finally got it. Like, this is what's going to make. It's those moments that could only happen in Resistance. Drew would probably say, because he's not here, hey Drew.
Hi, Drew.
He would probably say that when you're on the train and there's a herd of Widowmakers.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was one of those things, we were talking about things that could only happen in Resistance, and that was one of his big pushes, and I thought that was genius.
I love the beginning of New York.
Yeah.
That there's a couple of just really big, large battles where it feels like it's you versus the Horde.
This is what I want a movie made out of. I want the Charlie Tent and Company.
Yeah.
I want to see a movie about these guys, how they survive.
What do we call them?
We called them the
Wasn't the
leftovers? No, the remnants.
The remnants. That's
Remnants.
it. Okay.
Crispin Freeman is the voice of Charlie Tent. He does a great job.
Cool.
But yeah, somebody out there who has connections, make a TV show out of that. Netflix? Hey, Netflix, that would be a great. Remnants?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's a good spot to leave off. It seems like you guys like this, so maybe we'll do Resistance 3 again in the not too distant future, and we'll pick up where we left off in St. Louis and play some more.
I can show you where my picture of my daughter is in Minetown.
Oh, there you go. When we get to that, and we can also show Johnny Burns in Minetown. This is one of the
yes,
favorite.
he's playing a bone flute.
Yeah, it was so good.
Also Laura,
Chimera skull flute.
Laura Bailey is the voice of Jean Rose, so people will get off on that.
Yep, that's cool too. Thank you guys all for watching today. We've had great guests: Adam Noonchester, Marcus Smith. Thanks, you guys
Internet.
for coming in. As always,
love you.
Follow us on our
really.
social media
It's-
accounts. Twitter.
It's creepy.
Yeah, he does love you.
Internet.
See, he's kissing
Yes,
you.
there's
Please
a picture
follow
on
it.
his
Follow
desk.
us so that he can kiss you more.
I don't have social media.
Yeah, he's not there. But it's like if you follow Insomniac, it's Marcus by proxy. So Insomniac Games on Twitter, on Facebook.
Poor internet.
Follow us here on Twitch. Twitch followers today, we're donating a Brave Gown to Starlight Children's Foundation. You can check out more about Brave Gowns at insomniac.games. We'll be back with Insomniac Live next week on Monday, where we will be playing. I think we're playing Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time on Monday. I'm 90% sure that's the game for Monday. So 2 p.m. Pacific, same time, same channel right here at Insomniac Games. And then next week we'll also have Shadow of War coming up, which I'm very excited for that game to come out on Tuesday. So we'll be playing that on Wednesday. That's the next couple shows. Thanks for throwing a Sunset Overdrive pill at me, Marcus. And that's everything for today. Thanks for all your questions, chat. We'll see you guys Monday, and we're out.